Atiku Abubakar on Monday said he refused to attend the recent signing of the National Peace Accord organized for the presidential candidates of the 2027 elections because the ruling party, the All Progressive Congress, failed to participate in the process. For the 2027 election opened when the Council of the Wise of the Sahara Center for Democracy, Diplomacy and Development, led by former Chief Justice of Nigeria, Justice Olukayode Ariola, visited him in Abuja as part of his engagement with political stakeholders ahead of the 2027 general election. Now, the organization was at Atiku's residence to plead with him and other presidential contenders to promote peaceful, issue-based, and credible campaigns ahead of the election. Atiku was referring to the National Peace Accord signed in Abuja on August 18 by presidential candidates and political parties ahead of the commencement of the campaigns for the 2027 general election. Now, the Peace Accord, conveyed by the National Peace Committee in partnership with the Kukafet Center, committed political parties, candidates, and their supporters to peaceful campaign, respect for electoral institutions, and issue-based engagement. If you recall, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu did not attend the ceremony in person, but was duly represented by the Secretary to the Government of the Federation, George Akume. Among those who signed were Peter Obi of the Nigeria Democratic Congress, Omoyele Sowore of the African Action Congress, and Adewola Adebayo of the Social Democratic Party. But the question is, should this coming electionary campaign not be issue-based? And should the contestant not show that sense of maturity and shun all rhetorics of calumny and character assassination? Yes, how should they conduct themselves? This and all will take or form the base of our discussion today. And that is issue-based campaigns and not that of falsehood. That's what we're having as a major discourse today on the show. We'll be looking at the recent push by not only the Wise Council, but also the National Peace Movement in collaboration with the Kuka Center to ensure a peaceful, issue-based campaigns, especially as the commencement of campaigns have already started. That's what we're looking at as Nigerians will look towards the 2027 election, one that will devour of rancor, bitterness, but all about the issues and what the contestants intend to bring to the table. But anyway, he's right here in the studio, not on the table himself. He's not on the hot seat because I'm talking of my guest, but rather he'll be helping us to talk to them. Like you do know, he has been in the political space for close to 5 decades now. And indeed, we'll be talking with a word of wisdom on the mind. He's still a party man, but I will ensure that he will not be doing party politics, but actually talking or dealing with the issues to be. And I'm talking of no other person but our very own. I'm talking of no other person but Chief Olori Magege. Chief Magege, nice having you on the platform.
Yeah, good morning to you. Good morning to viewers.
Well, anyway, I would rather want to start with that visit by the Wise Council to no other person but the former Vice President of this nation and the Turaki Adamawa. And I'm talking of Atiku Abubakar. On Monday, they went to visit him on account of him being really absent when that peace accord was signed on August the 18th. Everybody was anticipating he will be there on the platform of the ADC, just like we had Peter Obi and George Akume representing President Bola Ahmed Tinubu on account of his busyness, and he was busy on that day. But my first question to you, he said he was not going to be there because he felt President Bola Ahmed Tinubu was not also there. But many would have said he would have sent representative. But in your own reaction, the reasons he gave, are they founded? Are they based on reality, knowing that, come on, if the APC is not there, then why should he be made to be there? So he said.
You see, I don't see any logic in his argument.
Why do you
Bola Tinubu is the president of the country.
Most certainly.
And the commitment that the signing of that accord, that peace accord, does not require his presence.
You're talking of President Bola Ahmed
Yes.
Tinubu's presence. Okay.
But he sent a capable hand, a man with authority.
Okay.
That's the Secretary to the government of the Federation. I think that shows a level of commitment that, to me, is okay. If Atiku Abubakar had sent a representation, it would have been a different case altogether. But right now, it's almost like a case of jealousy. That's almost what it is now. If he's not going to be there, then I won't be there. But Atiku, the highest position he has ever attained, is the vice president of the country, not the president of the country. The president and the vice president are not on at the same level. And to have said it, to have verbalized it, even makes it comical. We are talking of peace in the country in which he wants to rule. Peace. And the primary and foremost responsibility of government is to maintain peace in the entity in which it governs. What could be more important than that? I think it was just ego trip for Atiku Abubakar.
Okay, well, talking about ego trip, because he also gave clarity that he had participated in others before now, and that has always been the scenario. Not having the president there each time he goes. When he was that of former President Muhammadu Buhari, similar thing played out. And so he felt it's more like a slight on himself going there without having these persons there. But let's leave that topic. As you've said, you feel maybe it's an ego thing. But let's look at the significance of having these persons sign that peace accord and making them bind to the oath of having peaceful, issue-based campaign. Now, do you see that signing as a significant milestone in dealing with the issues of having issue-based campaign and not that of calumny or falsehood being reflected?
The signing is symbolic. There is no enforcement mechanism.
So you feel it doesn't carry any weight?
Oh, well, you see, it has a moral weight.
Okay.
It has a moral weight. It is significant because the members of the political parties are watching their leaders committing to peace. So, to a large extent, they imbibe it. They realize it is important that they keep the peace. That is the significance. Otherwise, where are you going to enforce it if there is no peace? Outside the regular security agencies that will now use the law to punish offenders. But by and large, the body language of signing, the photo of the signing has a moral impression on every Nigerian. So, yes, it is good.
Okay. Now, as much as you've said it's good and it's more like a binding document as it concerns those persons that would be looking up to their political actors to see if they'll be doing the best. I will plead with you. We need to go on the break now, but when we come back, we'll continue our discussion as it concerns what we'll be having to talk about, and we're talking about going on a break now. If my PD is there, we need to go on a break now.
Atlantic TV. Atlantic TV, culturally inclined and uniquely different.
Well, we need to welcome you back. We needed to go on that break to deal with some issues. But we're back with it. And today, like we said in our earlier topic, we'll be having the issue of issue-based campaign, knowing that the campaigns have just started. Rather than that will bring about breakdown of law and order. And how can that be done, especially with the signing of the peace accord that took place on the 18th day of August, 2026? Will that in every way ring in these political actors to do the needful? Or do you feel, just like our guests have just said before one on the break, that it's more like just a significant, it doesn't hold major water, especially when it comes to the issue of enforcement. But we're really not forcing it out of him, we're actually getting his idea, or rather his views as it concerns the topic we're having. Now, in case you're joining us just now, we still have no other person but Chief Olori Magege helping out with the discourse. Now, before we went on the break, we talked about that very signing and how critical it is to ensure that everybody is on the same on the same board as it concerns the issue of violence. Now, you said it's more like a moral thing. It doesn't hold strong water because enforcing it would be quite difficult. But if you look at the Electoral Act 2026 as amended, it gives the right of security agencies to go against those persons that unnecessarily incite to bring about violence. If you take your mind back to 2023, according to a Premium Time report, we had almost 109 persons killed on account of 238 politically motivated violence. So everybody seems to be worried that we do not fall back to that era of having a whole lot of deaths on account of the election. Underminer Oshu is already giving us a red flag. But let's leave the flag alone. Do you feel if the words, the statements, the utterances coming from these political gladiators can unnecessarily make their followers resort to violence rather than making it more of a peaceful one?
Yes. The candidates especially, the utterances must be very well guarded.
Okay.
Because so much hangs on it, on the statements. Many livelihoods are tied
Okay.
to the results of the election.
Okay.
So much is at stake. We are talking of life-changing situations after the election
Okay.
for those who won and for those who lost. For those who lost, they could go permanently bankrupt.
Hmm.
Some do sell their houses, dispose of properties, borrow money to contest election. And there is no mechanism for refund if they lose. So they put so much into it to ensure that they win.
This is almost sounding like a do or die issue.
It's a do or die thing. It's not sounding like it's a do or die thing. To reduce the pressure and the tension, we must start to look at the cost of electioneering. Because somebody invests 2-3 billion into an election. You remember there was a man who invested so much money into APC. He's been in the news about a month ago. And he's threatening to commit suicide because he's gotten nothing.
Yeah.
You remember?
Yeah.
It's an investment. But nobody goes into it thinking he will lose. That's the difference between gambling and electioneering. Everybody goes in thinking he's going to win because he has a prophet or a babalawo somewhere who told him that he will win. That's why he has gone to borrow so much money to contest the election.
Okay.
So if we can reduce the cost of electioneering, that will help to reduce the tension. That's that. If also remove some of the perks of the position, that makes it very attractive. Then people will reduce their expectation of the office.
Okay.
So by and large, there is so much to do pre-signing and post-signing of the peace accord. INEC has a role to play.
Okay.
The umpire must be seen to be free, to be fair, and to be just.
Okay.
Must be seen to be, not believed to be. Because utterances of INEC officials who also worsen the situation. When you're with a frame of mind that is going to be rigged, everybody goes into it, whether government in power, the party in power or not. Everybody believes that somewhere along the road, the election will be rigged.
Okay.
So removing this fear, this concern, will help a lot to reduce this pressure and tension in the polity.
Okay.
So I think we need to do more than signing. We need to change the culture of politicking if we are going to find a lasting peace in our electioneering.
Okay, now let's still look at issues of actually removing those that might overheat the polity, especially as it concerns the campaign. Now, if you look at section 101 of the Electoral Act 2026 as amended, it talks about dealing with the issue of persons not talking about the issue of tribe, campaign not based on the issue of religion, and candidates or where they associate themselves with, which tribe religion is also a major talking point when it comes to our elections. Now, yes, there's this unwritten accord that rotation of the presidency should always be between the North and the South. And some persons are using that to campaign that a certain candidate ought not to be on the ballot as it stands if that unwritten and agreement is to be followed. But does that hold waters? Knowing that the Electoral Act 101 specifically kicks against such notions.
There is,
We are still talking about issue base.
yes,
Mhm.
there is the spirit of the letter. And there is the intent of the letter.
Okay.
They may be different.
Okay. Okay.
Zoning is meant to create a balance,
Okay.
to promote the sense of belonging.
Mm.
It's all aimed at reducing the tension in the electionary process, to promote sense of belonging
Okay.
of everybody. You see, that in itself is derived from tribal sentiments. You want to remove tribal sentiment, yet you are promoting tribal sentiments. If we say election is free, anybody can contest at any point in time, and the structures on ground are directed at promoting that, then there should be no issue of Muslim to Muslim ticket or Christian Muslim ticket or Igbe Christian ticket. It should all be merit-based, competence-based. But you have issues of Muslim ticket. You have issues of Christian Muslim ticket. And you say there should be no religious comments. We are deceiving ourselves. You cannot divorce religion and tribe from politics. It's impossible. You cannot do it. You simply cannot do it.
But it's there in the Electoral Act that, though undermining, we cannot remove that, but there is an Electoral Act that persons should not use that as a base of campaign.
We can't use it as a basis for campaign, but it's in there. We practice it. You will know fully well that the issue of Christian Muslim ticket and Muslim, even, you see, there is a difference between Christian Muslim ticket and Muslim Christian ticket.
Yeah.
It depends on who is the president and who is vice president.
Okay.
And we are seeing this and we are deceiving ourselves. And we say it's written in the Electoral Act, which means that there is incongruence within the Electoral Act.
Okay.
It's all matter of time. When people's fears are removed,
Okay.
and Nigeria becomes the issue and not the tribal sentiments.
Okay, now let's continue our discussion, because today we're talking about the issue of issue-based campaign rather than that of falsehood. Now, there seems to be something brewing as it concerns the campaign, and funny enough, it's just striking the chord quite early. And what I mean is the issue of the removal of fuel subsidy. Recently became a talking point, especially when our former vice president and Atiku Abubakar, who is also the presidential candidate of the ADC, came out to say when he wins, if he wins, he's definitely going to return fuel subsidy back to its former place. We've had Peter Obi of the NDC coming to say, well, that's quite impossible and quite unnecessary. And not only that, the presidency has come out to say he seems to be economical with the truth and does not know the weight of what he has said. Now, let's look at the issue of fuel subsidy. Does it make any sense being returned? And do you feel he's been truthful? Because we've had his aide coming out to help us clarify that, well, no, that's not what he meant. He's going to remove it, but it's going to be in phases. And he has also come out to say, I never sent my aide any of such words to give that utterance. So let's look at the issue, because we're talking about falsehood and issue-based campaign. Fuel subsidy.
Atiku is playing to the gallery.
Excuse me.
He is playing to the gallery. And that, to me, disqualifies him.
Oh, come on.
We are looking at the high cost of living that is continually rising.
On account of the removal of fuel subsidy.
Yes, I agree. But we also forget that the fuel consumption in Nigeria as of today is almost half of what it was when there was fuel subsidy.
Of course, just 25%.
Yes, and vehicles are on the road. Vehicles are not being parked. So where did the other 25% go? Smuggling. Nigeria is subsidizing. Nigeria was subsidizing the fuel consumption in Burkina Faso, in Togo, in Cameroon, in Benin Republic. So we are subsidizing the lifestyle of those countries that contribute zero to our economy. And Atiku Abubakar is not looking at that.
But would it not have been better if we deal with the issue of the deep-rooted corruption in subsidy, rather than throwing the baby and the bathwater away? Would that not have been the best thing to do, rather than removing subsidy itself? I know we are returning back to this discussion after so many years of talking about the issue, but he brought it up.
You see, efficiency in the economy space, the economic space, requires zero subsidy. People must learn to live on what they have. We must learn to live on what we have. Not believing somebody is going to dash us, because subsidy is a dash. And worried people have a saying, "A wolf get bone." When there was fuel subsidy, were we actually not losing time in fuel queues? Fuel queues have disappeared. You get wherever you want to go to, you look at your pocket. Can what I have now take me there and back? I am now dependent on myself. And we have all adjusted to life without fuel subsidy. Why take us back to that? We didn't die. Fuel subsidy was removed. We didn't die. We cannot continue to live on subsidy. We cannot. I hope that very soon we also remove subsidy from electricity, so that those who can afford to have their light for 24 hours will be able to do so. And those who say, no, I can only use it for 5 hours or 2 hours, can do so. When prepaid meters are installed, people can control their expenditure on electricity. So, then when you remove the fuel subsidy, Dangote will collapse. Dangote will collapse. We'll go back into fuel importation.
Okay.
We'll go back into all the corruptions that go with it.
Okay.
I don't think Atiku, I don't think, I can't, I'm on air, so I'm very well guided.
I'll plead with you to be really guided with your utterance.
The confusion in his camp over this fuel subsidy tells me clearly that they have not sorted themselves out on what they want.
Now, but there's still a question he raised also on account of the issue of fuel subsidy that is also making the round, and he's asking, where did the money go to that was removed on account of the fuel subsidy? That is talking point and a sticking point that many persons are also wanting to ask. Where did the money go to? Yes, we do know that there have been increase in monies being shared by the 3 tiers of government since the removal. But in respective, we still also find in the news that 512 billion have been used by governors for traveling and their offices and all of that. But let's leave the governors and come to the issue of fuel subsidy itself. Where did the money go to? Still talking about the issue. Falsehood and issue-based campaign.
When someone over years suffered from poisoning, like Nigeria was under Buhari. Buhari was economically poisoning Nigeria by printing money, not borrowing money, printing money. The 500 naira in your pocket is a value of your sweat.
Of course.
But when money is printed, It is not backed by the sweat.
Value.
There is no sweat behind it. It's just a piece of paper. And what it does, it destroys the economy because there's no productivity.
Okay.
Buhari was just printing money and printing money and printing money. And the governor of those states was shouting then,
Former governor.
Obaseki, was
Godwin
shouting,
Obaseki.
we are printing money to pay salaries. We were almost becoming an Idi Amin Uganda and Zimbabwe of that time, where our currency was completely destroyed, where their currencies were completely destroyed. So what I'm saying is this. We have adjusted fully to the removal of fuel subsidy. To now even bring the issue is to serve as a reminder of that period that we think we are enjoying, we are not enjoying. We are actually suffering while laughing with the fuel subsidy. So there's too much to lose if we go back to the fuel subsidy. In fact, we will not survive it.
So there's a whole lot of falsehood in his claim.
Yeah, it's all falsehood, there's a lot. There's no single truth in his claim.
Well, anyway, it's always right to really emphasize things. Well, in all honesty, the International Monetary Fund came out recently to say, well, these reforms of fuel subsidy removal has been more of a gain to Nigeria, that because our foreign reserve and also growth has been projected to reach about 4% this year, according to International Monetary Fund. So let's leave that alone and come now to another major issue, because we're still talking about falsehood and issue-based campaign. Now, the campaigns have started. And funny enough, one place that the campaign seems to be having a heated debate is the recent conference of the Nigeria Bar Association in Port Harcourt, where we had gladiators. I know you are laughing, you are smiling. Where we had gladiators almost at the jungle of each other, with almost the walkout of Amechi yesterday on account of not wanting to be with Showeri, because he said he doesn't understand the politics of managing Nigeria. But let's leave those back and forth. Now, that was a clear indication of the direction of our campaigns. There was so much heated arguments. Now, I want you to really help us understand. Is it common to have such heated arguments? Is it good and right for our democratic movement? Yeah, we know in the United States, we see here all of that with the Democrats and the Republicans almost at each other's throat on issues that seem to arise from the economy to the handling of their international policies to even the war in Iran and how it seems to be affecting the pump price of petrol in the United States. But let's look at all of this. Do you feel some of the heated argument is in order? And how can this translate to issues that really concerns Nigerians and that will make them be more beneficial to Nigerians itself?
We will always have heated debates on issues.
Okay.
It is not the heat in the debate that is the problem. It is how we individually react
to such
via our ego. The general public, the public needs to know. The general public needs to be properly informed.
Okay.
Because it is their decision who will go, who will win through the ballot paper. So when they make that decision, which is not a small decision, they need to be well informed. And it is through this heated debate that how matured are we to be able to tolerate opposing views to what we have. Let's understand this. There is no absolute right on anything. We must at all times continue. We must at all times continue to debate on issues. On issues, not on personality. When we interface issues with our personality, that's where the problem comes in. When we bring our ego to play, when we see challenge to our knowledge as an affront on us, then there's a problem.
Okay. Okay. Well, anyways, let's before we continue, I want us to come home, which will be right. We cannot talk about campaigns and falsehoods and the issue of unnecessarily heating up the polity if we do not also drag it home. Now, recently, there's something that has also taken the ground in Delta State. Is a recent claim of the former Deputy Senate President, Ovioma Agege, who came out recently to say that some persons, and he fingered the state governor himself, His Excellency Right Honorable Sheriff Oboriwori, as being the mastermind of a recent attack that was perpetrated in Uwie, where he claimed around 5:30 a.m., about 50 armed men stormed the venue of the NDC and caused a whole lot of havoc on account of it. Now, let's look at that, because we're still talking about the issue of issue-based campaign and the push for no violence in our elections. Now, I want you to react to that claim. Because undermining, we had somebody from the government, Charles Anyanwu, coming out to say, well, there's no iota of truth in his claim. But I want you to react to that very statement that Senator Omo Agege has said. It's a bit too weighty, and many Deltans are eager to hear what seems to be the issue.
You see, Senator Omo Agege, from my humble view, should be above those kind of talk.
Should be above
that kind of claim. What I mean is this.
Okay.
There must be a motive if you ascribe an action to someone.
Okay.
What could be the motive of the governor to want to go after Omo Agege? In 2023, they contested the election. Governor beat him 21-4. 21 local government won by the governor, and Omo Agege won 4. Hands down. That's what we use, what we call landslide victory.
Okay.
Oh, then the governor went into Omo Agege's den.
Okay, it is his party. Den.
Yes,
What
that
do you
is
mean
his
by
den,
party?
his
Okay.
den, his own den,
Okay.
his party. And the governor took over the structure from him. Live. Took the structure from him to the extent that Omo Agege himself cried out, I did not leave APC, APC left me. That's a serious statement by him. An admission of total failure on his part.
I rather put capitulation.
Capitulation.
Please.
Now, after that, you left the party. Omo Agege contested the senatorial primary and he lost in APC. And he left for NDC. So what will be the motive of the governor? You've beaten him in the election, you've gone to his den, and you've taken his prize jewel from him. You've made him an outcast in the party, APC. So what more would the governor want from him? That's number one. Number two, the governor is contesting at the governorship level. Ovioma Agege did not have the courage to go to another party and contest against the governor at the governorship level. Rather, he went down, he would step down to go into the Senate to contest against his quote-unquote boy. Is the governor contesting senatorial race?
No.
You see, OVA continues to love the name association of the governorship position. He has not accepted the fact that he is not in the governorship race. And that has always been his style. In 2023 campaign, he was attacking Okowa rather than attacking Oberebodi. again, the identification with the governor
As of then.
as of then. Okowa throughout the campaign. Now he has come this time again. Oberewori. The governor. Nobody chased him. Nobody stopped him from contesting the governorship race. Nobody stopped him. If he's not happy with the Senate race, pull out. And there are many parties that have placed again. Was a joinder of NDC, the Nigerian Democratic Congress. He's not a founder. He's not a founder.
Of course not.
He joined.
Of course.
And he joined very close to their primary. Because he did contest the primary of
the
APC.
APC.
What I'm saying is this. There was a structure of NDC before he joined.
Of course.
And I suspect that now he's trying to impose himself, impose his structure, his persons, his loyalists on the NDC structure that he met. And people are resisting it.
Okay.
The people he met there are resisting it.
Okay.
But his characteristic way, he will not go the humble way.
So you feel it's these persons
And
that staged the attack? Is that what you say?
that's what I suspect.
That's what you suspect?
Yes.
What you suspected?
That's number one. Number two is, over the years, he's been running one campaign or the other, contesting one thing or the other. You'll find that those who were with him in 2007 were not the ones that joined him in 2011. He has dropped them. They've parted ways for one reason or the other. Bringing him home. Those who were his campaign directors, his campaign people in 2023, where are they today? Are they still talking to him? Was it Oberewori that removed Sobotie? Was it Oberewori that removed all those boys that he had that are now occupying key positions in APC? Was it Oberewori that removed them? They should learn to hold friendship dear. It is not electioneering period that you hold people, then after that you dump them. No.
But one of these persons were given juicy positions by the administration, and hence they stayed.
Nobody buys anybody. Nobody.
Okay.
The point is this. Your potential is what makes people want you.
Most certainly.
So if Ovie does not see the potential of his followers and somebody else poaches them, don't blame those people. Don't blame them.
Wow.
You see, Ovie should do introspection. Should do introspection. Looking for cheap publicity by attaching issues to the governor. He's the polity.
Now, talking about hitting the politics, because that's the reason we're here. Do you feel these utterances can unnecessarily bring strives, bitterness, and violence as it concerns them?
In Delta State, we are above that.
Okay.
In Delta State, we are above that.
So you feel it will hold no water?
It will hold no water because we know what is going on. We see what is going on. If you accuse the governor, or accuse anybody of being a threat to your life, you go to the police and let the police investigate. But let me tell you this, all those statements being made here and there, they are like water at the back of a healthy peacock. It just flutters the feathers and the water goes away.
Now, I know we're not going away, but we're rather here because we were talking about issue-based campaign. Now, if you said that the issue of unnecessarily heating things up will hold no water, what are those things that needs to be campaigned on? Okay, let me drive it home, knowing that you are of the APC. What are those things that your party are going to likely talk about going into these elections?
Oh,
Because we're talking about
Yes,
issue based
yes, issue
and not issue of
based.
falsehood or unnecessarily eating. What are those things that your party will campaign about?
Performance. Oberewori's performance. That's what we are going to campaign on.
Okay.
I am going to make t-shirts of the flyovers and distribute in Agbaru. Well, that is performance. That is these things are tied together. You cannot be talking about improving federal government coming down to rehabilitate the Nigerian Port Authority, NPA Warri, and you don't have your infrastructure to support the movement of goods. And Oberewori is matching his words with action. The NPA road, is being resurfaced with concrete.
Yes.
Are you getting me?
Yeah.
Oberewori has been putting a lot of pressure on federal government to revive DSC. And we can see it now that the federal government has signed
about $1.3 billion
into it. 25,000 people will be employed.
25,000.
Which means again that the flyover at PTI is of value to DSC because all these roads, NPA and DSC, they meet
PTI.
at PTI. The man is putting action on his words. That's what we are going to campaign on. You follow what I'm saying?
Yeah.
We're talking of wanting investment in industrialization in Delta State.
Yeah.
We've just completed Delta Investment Summit. And investors are coming from Brazil, from Japan, from all over the world to invest in Delta State. We are going to campaign on that. Improve agriculture. Gari has gone down. It's now 1,005.
1-2.
1-2.
Yeah.
You see?
For a basket.
The basket. The price is coming down because there is improvement in the supply of Gari. So that's what we are going to campaign on. Health. With 7,000 a year. Invest that in the Delta State health insurance.
Health insurance scheme.
You are home and dry. You, your wife, and 2 kids under 18. Waiting. We are going to campaign on Oberewori performance. Period. And we just hope that those our opponents who love Delta State should admit that yes, the man has tried. Oberewori has done well, but we think we can do better. If they campaign on that, then yes, there'll be no problem. We can do better. It will be left for Deltans to say, well, are we going to experiment? Somebody who is performing, you're going to change him for somebody who is promising that is going to do better. That will be the decision that the highly literate Deltans, the electorate will make the decision. So I'm not afraid.
Well, anyway, there'll be no fear for us to say that indeed we've been having a discussion based on issue-based campaign, especially with the commencement of campaign that just started just some couple of days ago. And we're looking at the recent call for issue-based campaign rather than that of falsehood and that of a whole lot of heating up the polity, especially as it concerns utterances being made by our political gladiators or political actors in the country. Well, in case you're joining us, well, you've missed a great deal, but anyway, we're still almost at the concluding end of our discussion right here on the show today. Still dialogue. And like I said, we're talking about issue-based campaign and the issue of reducing falsehood as it concerns some issues. Like I said, we still have no other person but Chief Olori Magege helping us to conclude because conclusion is where we'll lie. Now, we've just talked about the issue of Delta State. And it wouldn't have made any sense if we do not talk or bring the issues back home.
Yeah.
Because that's where it hits us the most. Because God forbid anything happens to Delta, it's going to hit us more hard than any other place that we will be. But now let's come because I want us to wrap things up. Now, the elections are barely 4 months or 5 months away, and already we are beginning to see some movement here and there, some alignment, some victories dance, especially in Oshun, that is now aligning with President Bola Ahmed Tinubu. Let's come to the elections itself. What will be your take as it concerns the activities of political parties ahead of these elections? Where do you feel these elections will go? Are we going to have a hitch-free, violent-free elections? Are we going to have an elections that people will say, well, yeah, this has been free and fair, just like what the clamor and the glory they are giving to the Osho elections? So in your own honest assessment, come the next 5 months, are we going to see we've had issues being discussed, elections that are free and fair, voters finally taking their choices, irrespective of the presidential governorship we've been clamoring for?
There will be no violence.
That's what you predict?
Yeah, that was I predict. There will be no violence. Because we have learned that violence is not exclusive to one person. So the fear of counter, if you are violent, there will be counter. The fear of that will neutralize any violence. Then the boys that the politicians use to perpetuate violence, they've also learned their lesson. Those who went to snatch maize in Abuja, many of them have died, very painful death, stroke and all that. And they were abandoned on their sick bed. Had mercy that they are being used and dumped. And they are being very, very careful. So I don't see any violence per se in Delta State. It's getting clearer who is going to win the election in Delta State. It's getting clearer by the day. Everybody, even those contesting, know who will win. They know. So when you can foretell victory and it happens, there will be no violence. And then it has to be issue-based in Delta. Because there are so many ways to fact-check whatever lies with it. Okay, here we are now. We've discussed the issue of Obioma Agege saying the governor is after his life. We fact-checked it here now. And we see that there's no basis for that. There are so many television houses, so many media houses out there focusing their searchlight on these politicians and their utterances. This serves as a checkmate on their lives. We also have educated and well-informed journalists like you.
Thank you, sir.
I can't come to the studio here and be lying in your presence. You will be pointing it to me that you are lying, you are lying, you are lying. I've watched you with other guests. But that in itself becomes a checkmate on our ability to lie and get away with it. To get away with it. If we lie and we can't get away with it, we stop lying. Are you getting what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But most importantly, the electorate has become very enlightened. It's not INEC that needs to be transparent. It's the electorate that we should make it impossible for INEC not to be transparent. You rig election in a place where it is comfortable for you to rig. If the place is hostile to you, you can't rig there. So the electorate must make rigging an impossibility. If they can do that, then we don't have to fear INEC. INEC will be forced to be transparently honest to the people. So, no, this 2027 election is a piece of pie.
Well, anyway, I would like to share on that piece of pie and get it maybe a major chunk. But anyway, we would love to do that later because we use this opportunity to invite all those that will be seeking for campaigns that, Atlantic Media and TV is now open up for you to come and tell us what you want to do as candidates for your political parties and what you want to do. Let the electorate know we are open for discussion. Come and we'll give you that opportunity to be a part of the discourse. You can reach us on any of our social media platforms. Funny enough, they're there on the screen. Let's get to hear from you, and we'll give you that opportunity to talk right here, irrespective of the political divide. We are open for discussion and business. I'll be giving you that platform to thrive, because all we are after is for Delta to get the best and Nigeria to move forward as a great nation and indeed the giant of Africa. But anyway, it will be out of place if we do not thank you so much. And I'm talking about Chief Olori Makege for coming and doing this with us. We truly appreciate your time. Anytime we tend to call on you, and even if you have other things in hand, you always make Atlantic your first point of call. We truly appreciate that.